Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where today we're going to be talking about some new rumors about possible test screenings for The Rise of Skywalker that failed miserably. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee. Welcome back to all of the returning subscribers, but if you're new to the channel and you just found me for the very first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video and any other video from the channel that you check out. Be sure to hit that notification bell, not once, but twice, so that you're always notified the second a new video goes live. Alright, with that being said, let's dive into this new test screening rumor that was brought to us by Overlord DVD, and he claims to have had 4 sources that have said the same thing. 2 more in-depth sources that might report is brought to that he received on different days that said the same thing. And so, the last video I made about him, he talked about 3 possible cuts of the film. That I was more inclined to believe than what we're going to talk about today. But since it has so many views, I thought I would talk about it here and just kind of give a more accurate take of what I feel is actually happening here. Alright, so he claims to have said that there were test screenings that showed several scenes, rough cuts of the film, without giving any of the actual MacGuffins away. Alright, so he says that in the Iger cut, essentially, that this was never going to be seen because the test screening went so poorly. There was no opening crawl. The opening began with Rey running in the woods, which we've seen from the trailer, so that part is accurate. Luke talking and teaching Rey about the Force in the voiceover. Rey meets with Leia. The Resistance gang leaves to find Kylo Ren, where Rey finds and heals the Sandworm. Kylo appears on Pasaana. Kylo charges the TIE fighter at Rey. Rey slices the TIE wing off and Kylo crashes. Kylo emerges. He and Rey have a lightsaber duel, and then a dark force surrounds both of them. They feel it. They ask each other if they feel it. And then there's supposed to be this rumored team up, and then a fade to black. And that was the first bit that they saw. Okay, so we got some problems with this already. So, obviously we're never going to see this version because I don't believe that this actually happened. So, not the entire movie, no opening crawl. That part makes sense. Opened with Rey running in the woods. That part makes a little more sense, except it's not going to open with that. There's always opens in space. Luke talking and teaching Rey about the Force in the voiceover, probably not going to happen right off the bat, because part of Rey's thing is that she's unable to speak to Luke because she hasn't able to bend to decipher his consciousness throughout the Force. So that's likely not going to happen either. Rey meets with Leia, accurate because that's from the trailer. The Resistance gang leaves to find Kylo Ren, not true. So the Resistance leaves to go to Pasaana because the Leia puts them in contact with an old ally who happens to be Lando. That's why they go to Pasaana. Kylo happens to find Rey there because of the necklace that she's wearing that they have in a Force bond that Kylo rips off of her. That gives away the location. Kylo Ren does appear on Pasaana, and this is where he charges the TIE fighter at Rey. Rey slices a TIE off the wing and Kylo crashes. That's probably true. Kylo emerges. He and Rey fight. Not so certain about that. Probably true. And then a dark force stronger than both of them haunts them with a rumored team up. Doubt that's true. So part of this is true, and I think the reason it's true is because we've seen all of that in the teasers. Alright, so then there was supposed to be a fade to black. And then we're supposed to emerge with Palpatine's laugh in black. And then he claims that there's this water world, which is really just the Death Star wreckage, which is not on Endor. It's on another moon near Endor. And Finn is looking for Rey. Rey is trying to convince Kylo to join the light side. Kylo and Rey have another duel, and this is apparently where retcon of Return of the Jedi between Vader and Luke is used with these 2 new characters. Kylo smashes his helmet and throws his lightsaber. That's supposed to be this whole little bit that they saw next. Not sure how true that is either. I know Finn is looking for Rey on the Death Star wreckage because him and Jannah are seen in the trailer running after them. So, that part is true. And then Rey trying to convince Kylo to join the light side. I'm sure that's going to be a theme throughout the whole movie, because JJ's been saying that he's this character who's not really evil deep down, but is trying to be. Lawrence Kasdan's also said that, and I'm sure that they have another duel, because that has obviously been the 6-day thing that they were talking about. Both of them have talked about it with the water cannon shooting at them. Return of the Jedi dialogue being used wouldn't be surprising, because JJ does like to do that and kind of go over past films and kind of honor them in a certain way like this. Alright, so the next scene that they were supposedly seeing is this. It's supposed to be on Kijimi, which he describes as a snow planet, ice planet. And then Rey and Palpatine are going to be at the throne room. Palpatine knew Vader would betray him, he says. Palpatine gives Rey the Episode 6 speech, essentially word for word for the one that he gave to Luke. Rey says Luke saw Vader throw him down, and Palpatine responds with, "Did he now?" And apparently that Vader killed a clone, which was supposed to be Matt Smith. And then a screening cuts to the Finn and the Resistance, and for a short portion where they're trying to find Rey, they gather the rest of the Resistance to go look. And then apparently Kylo fixes his mask at the same time, and the Emperor and Rey are talking, and Kylo walks in on them. Two halves are before me. Palpatine kills both to rule. Palpatine says executes Order 67, and the Death Star destroyers emerge, and Palpatine talks more about his plan. Some of these shots we've seen from the trailer, some of these seem like old leaks that have been disproven and changed in reshoots and different edits of the film. The two halves are before me goes back to one of the first leaks we heard about the Force Dyad. That has been changed, likely been changed, so that's probably not true. And the Death Star destroyers emerge, that is true, except now that's at the beginning of the film to give more context to what Palpatine is doing to begin with. So Kylo fixes his mask. When did he smash his mask? He smashes his helmet, he puts it back together. Obviously we knew that, because we can see that from The Last Jedi, and we have his mask repaired in all of the marketing. So obviously he has to fix it somehow, so that's going to happen. So not a tall order to fill there. And then we go back to the Resistance, where Finn, Poe, and Rose gather the rest of the Resistance and try and decipher how to fight the First Order. Leia makes a call to General Hux, who is the mole who tells them how to defeat them. We see the Space Horses seen here, and apparently the Falcon gets blown up. And at this point in this test screening, people started to leave their theater at this point. Now that I can believe, because this is a pile of crap that we've been hearing about thus far. So I'm glad all of the actual leaks don't suggest that this is going to happen the way he says it's going to happen. So Leia making a call to Hux to tell them how to defeat them. If she could have done this, why wouldn't she have done this at the very beginning of the movie, especially if she knew that that was the mole? So that's just kind of something. The Falcon gets blown up. There's actually been rumblings that might happen, which would make me very mad, and I'm sure a lot of other fans very mad. But I doubt that would happen at this point, because he also claims that Chewie, R2, and everybody else in the Falcon, Lando, actually die when that gets blown up. And so then we go back to the Emperor fighting Rey. Leia walks in somehow, and so does Force Ghost Luke and Force Ghost Yoda show up, and the four of them fight them. Kylo's just gone at this point, and the Emperor kills Leia. I'm not sure how that's going to happen, since they only have reused footage of Carrie Fisher. And then Kylo apparently comes back somehow, and Rey and Kylo dispatch the Emperor, which means they kill the Emperor. And then Force Ghosts speak, and they make their comments about the Emperor being dead for good. And it was made note that this isn't the full movie, and a lot of this, let's just be clear, that was what he said. So now, overview, this seems to be a lot of what early leaks suggest, and just falsified rumors suggest. And there's this one interesting thing that I came across while I was trying to find out some information on this, and that is this 4chan report that essentially says the exact same thing that this video says, that was posted on November 19th, 2019. And here's the interesting thing. His video was posted on the 18th, but all of these bullet points are the same thing. So that makes me think one of his sources is somebody on 4chan feeding all of this false information. That just, it kind of, the post and everything he said line up essentially too close to be true. When I was taking notes for this video, I was just kind of reading off all of these little bullet points of things that happened, and had I found this earlier, I could have just read those because it's essentially the same thing. So I wanted to address this because of how many views it has and because of how frequently now he's doing all of these Rise of Skywalker things, and I feel like he's leading people more astray than the actual leaks suggest, which I believe the Jedi Packs is making Star Wars leaks are accurate. And so I just want to be sure that not everybody thinks that is actually going to be what I just described to you. And that's why I made this video. So let me know what you guys think about this test screening disaster and clearly plot disaster. And you know I like the sequel trilogy, and even I can't get behind this cut of whatever this was. So let me know what you guys think about that with a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. God bless, and may the Force be with you.